guys, welcome to video in the playpen because Miles, yeah, you say hi. Okay, we're going to look at page 17 and a little bit of 18 because we're going to be focusing on how to write questions today and what makes a good or bad question.
My wife is a teacher.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff going on right now. But I wanted to bring you to the bottom of page 17 right here and look at question number 9. So a researcher has to be careful about how questions are worded. A researcher needs to make sure that the questions are clear, easily answerable, and do not include bias. So I have an example of a bad question right here. School uniforms should not be required. Agree or disagree? Is this a good way to ask a question? Hopefully you say no, because if you were just answering the question, should school uniforms should not be required. If you agree with it, well, let's say you're trying to disagree with it, you're disagreeing with a negative. So I'm disagreeing that they should not. So if I'm saying disagree, I'm actually saying agree to school uniforms. And it just takes a second to kind of parse apart. So it's not the best way to do it. Also, there's always varying levels. Yeah, thank you. You don't want to say just straight up yes, no. You've noticed a lot of the feedback I've been giving you in your stuff. Can I put you down for a second?
Out here living my best life underwear.
Is Miles, hey, that's okay. All right. Is you might want to say school uniforms should be required. And then, that part's fine. You wanted to take out the should not. You never want to start a question with a negative. And then you can do strongly agree, disagree, and strongly, Miles, strongly disagree. Yeah, okay, come back here. Okay, so, yeah, I also try and avoid putting a neutral option there, neither agree nor disagree, because then what you end up with is people who just don't even want to make a decision, and all of your information is just going to be neither agree nor disagree. And then that doesn't help you answer any question because it's just a non-statement. So it's not about whether or not you agree or disagree with school uniforms. As the researcher, you're trying to find the data. And then, so that would make it a good closed question. You might even want to respond though, because there's a lot of opinions about this. So school uniforms should be required. Strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree. And then you would have a question of, why do you say this? Because some people might be like, I disagree because I want to have my own clothes to show my personality. Or I disagree because it's too expensive. I'd have to buy all new things. Or I agree because I think that it would just be easier for me to just wear the same thing every day. So all of that stuff you can't necessarily put into graphs, but it's helpful because then you know why. So when you're like reporting on all the data that you found out, you have a reason why people are saying those things. Okay, so for each one of these next ones on page 18 is I want us to look at, so each of the following, identify why it's bad. All of these are bad, by the way. There's something wrong with all of these questions or statements. You're going to rewrite the question so it's a good closed question and rewrite it so it's a good open question. Oh, good. Okay. He was quiet. I was worried that he had choked on something. He's fine. Cool. Thanks for your concern. So let's look at number 10. I can always talk to my parents about my problems. True, false? Okay, there's a couple problems with this. One, I can never say always about anything. So you never want that in there because it's like saying the same thing I mentioned in class where it's like, I like all of my teachers. Well, there's probably going to be one you don't. So, putting them all together is difficult. Also, there's a varying level here about what you can or can't talk to your parents about. So true, false is not great for me. If I was to answer this question, I am an adult and there are still things that I do not talk to my parents about. A lot of things I do, but not everything. So I would say you could just take the word out always. I can talk to my parents about my problems. Okay. So, and then you can do either the strongly agree, whatever, or even another thing you can do is sometimes I like to use this one, always, often, sometimes, rarely, and never. Okay, so that has a good kind of sliding scale about it. So that's another option you can do, especially if you're doing frequency. Just be careful whenever you're doing like things that are timed, like how often do you blank? Because if you don't give them choices, you have some people that write down like 2 minutes. You might have people write down 7 years, and you will get all kinds of crazy things. So it's always good to have a range, especially when you think long term, you're going to have to be analyzing all that data. So it's nice to just already have it all in kind of chunks already. So there's a way to do a closed question. So an open question would be, what can you talk to your parents about? That's not the only one. You could also do talk to your, oh, typing at this angle is really hard, to your parents about, how's you doing? Good? Say hi. Yeah, good job. Okay, or an easy open one is, why can you talk to your parents about that? Or what can't you talk to your parents about? Yeah. So, and you don't have to have an open question for everything, but if it's one of your things that you really have a question about, like it's one of your main questions in your survey, then you're going to want to have some kind of reason why, because otherwise you have a whole bunch of data but no explanation. Okay. All right. So that kind of walks you through 10. I'm still waiting on you lovely people. Okay, to answer our surveys here. Yeah, okay, yeah, answer those surveys. Because we have to discuss our class data, and only 11 of you out of both classes have responded back to them. So, class notes. Get through page 18. That's going to be it for the week. The due date for the proposal is obviously extended. I don't have a date of when we are going to be done, but you all should just be actively working on it. A lot of you have been in communication with me, and it's fantastic. Thank you so much for keeping in touch with the Remind. It makes my job easier. And then if you haven't, it's time to get on that, guys. Okay, here you go, buddy. Here, play with this. There you go. But I need those proposals in. I can give you feedback real fast, and you can get started on this. So, but you got to get the surveys done because we need to be able to discuss them as a class so we can talk about our data. So that's it for now. I hope you loved the new intro video, and I hope it made you laugh at my stupid face. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see when the next video is coming out. And love you all. Bye.